Hi once again to everyone. I decided to have a look into the collection and just see what I've got and what I haven't got. Also rearrange the phones in some kind of order. Anyhow, the last talk that Andy gave on Sunday was, funny enough, on this particular type or model of telephone from America. I was also amazed that he said, oh, there's not many of them about in England. I thought, well, I've got one or two. I'll just check through what I've got, and there's 11 of these phones here. Granted, they're not all Western Electric Princess, but they're certainly all designed on that same pattern. We got them by Stromberg Carlson, which is this example here. I'll slowly go through them, take some time. Yeah, here we got, I can see the name. It's awkward using one hand, trying to put glasses on to see. It's ITT Kellogg. I had a couple of Kellogg's. There's another one there. Now this one was what I picked up many years ago on a visit to America. It was actually America and Canada. They have what they call garden garage sales and that. And whenever you go through a little village of that, they've got signs up. Oh, they give them the address. We've got a sale. So anyway, they're quite interesting. And I went along to one and I found this one. Granted, it's not, or it does not have a dial, but that's not a problem. Also, on the base, where the little light would be to light the dial up, it's blanked out. But there's the other one. This is also an ITT Kellogg. They call it a number 703. So it's probably a number of these type of phones. As I said before, numbers to me don't mean anything. I'm number blind. They could, they could call it 1, 2, 3. Well, I'm also at that end of the table. Another one here. This is a Princess. Number there is 2702B or 702B. It's got not for sale. That don't mean a thing. There's where the lamp goes. So this one does have a lamp and it is working. You've also got a bell with this version. Loud and soft. Little lever there, loud and soft. The reason I say this, the early ones didn't have a bell. This one, once again, is a touch tone type. And these light up from the little bulb that's inside. A lot of people have changed the bulbs to an LED type, which gives more light for less current. But I tend to, well, I haven't tinkered about with them, just left the original bulbs in, which are 6 to 8 volts. Now, funny enough, also got one of those. Well, I've got a couple of those. There's the other one. This one I bought when I was in Canada, and that was a long time ago. I think I was in my 20s at the time. It was a long time ago. And also picked up, I don't know which one it is now, but it's one of these phones, Northern Electric. It was a brand new phone that I bought in the town called Thunder Bay. It used to be Fort William, Fort William, but now it's called Thunder Bay. It's in Ontario. It's not a million miles from Toronto, but as I say, this was all years ago. It's Port Arthur. I can't think of the other name. This is a problem. I can't always remember things. But anyhow, suffice to say, it's Thunder Bay, and that's where I picked that up. And it was the local telephone exchange, which I visited. I had my card from over here, say who I was, and I went into the exchange, knocked on the door. They let me in, and they said, "Oh, hello. You're from England, aren't you?" I said, "Yeah." They could probably tell by my accent. But anyhow, the gentleman who showed me round, he sort of pointed to some old-looking selector switches. Well, I say old-looking, they were the same type that we use in England, or used in England, called pre-2000. They were like the original Strowger switch, which I believe was quite popular in North America and Canada. Anyhow, furthermore, the gentleman said to me, "Ah, you're from England. Whereabouts? What exchange are you at?" So I said, at the time, it was Wimbledon. He looked at me and said, "Blimey, is so-and-so still there?" I won't obviously give the name, but the gentleman he referred to I knew very well, and he was in fact still at the exchange. I think he retired since, a long time ago. So it just shows you it's a small world. And the gentleman I was speaking to actually had come from England, so he knew a lot of the terminology that was used in England. So he was able to give me a little show of what was there. So that was that. Also, the phone I got did have a bell. I did mention that the earlier models were made without a bell. They didn't have that one small enough to fit in the space. They just put a little weighted piece of metal in there to keep the phone down, so it was mounted, kept it down. So if it didn't have a bell, you would need one, and we have one here. As you can see, it's got the designating on there. That's in 65, the years when this idea was patented. There's the inside of the bell. I haven't taken the cover off. The cover has on there the name, which I'll turn it around the right way, might be able to make sense. Northern Telecom. So this is the Canadian branch of Western Electric. Western Electric and Northern were the same company, just operated in the two countries. The products they made were virtually the same, and obviously the bits are interchangeable. But anyhow, getting back to how we wire these up, as I said, they've got a little light that lights up inside. I won't take the cover off of any of these. I'd be here all night if I did, so I won't. Yeah, suffice to say that they basically use 4 wires. 2 wires, I think, are the red and green, are for the phone itself, tip and ring, L1, L2, A and B, whatever you like to call it. Excuse me, coughing, hay fever. But I mentioned they've got a little light that's inside, and that is powered, as I say, showing you the little transformer that they're powered from. You have two connections there. The flat pin is what goes into the American outlet. Remember, this is 110 volts or 120. So if you have one of these, don't, whatever you do, plug it into our voltage 240, because you'll blow it up. We'll certainly burn it out, which would be a great pity. Anyhow, so getting back to the wires, don't know whether they're either modular type, which is this type of plug, but you have two sets, and I think it's the black and white is then used to power the lamp. Or is it yellow? No, I think it's yellow and black. I think it's yellow and black. The yellow and black wires in the cable would be to light the little bulb up. And these little bulbs have a little resistor in them. That one shows it? No, that one doesn't. This is one that hasn't even been made with a lamp, as you can see. Let's have a look at the Stromberg. Yeah, this one's the Stromberg Carlson. There's where the lamp goes. What was I also going to say? Funny enough, this one's 668. I was going to say something, I forgot what I was going to say. But anyhow, not to worry. There's 4 wires go in, so 2 wires are for the phone, and the other 2 wires are for the bulb. Oh, I know what I was going to say. On there, you just see it there, little slide switch, which can be altered so that the phone either glows bright, I say bright, only like a very dim light, or is extinguished except when you pick the handset up. I think I got it round the right way. If I haven't, someone will correct me. Anyway, if you're in England, probably are, and you want a transformer to replace the American type, what you'll find is quite good, and this is an old transformer I picked up many years ago, possibly from a good old boot sale. You can see on it, it tells you the input volts, which is 250, 50 cycles or hertz, and the transformer is tapped 3, 5 and 8 volts. So it's one winding which is centre tapped. So you can either draw 8 volts or 5. And this is at 1 amp, so they say. 5 volts is fine for the light. You don't want it too bright. And you don't want it to get hot, too hot, that it melts the plastic that it's virtually butting up against inside the phone. So don't overpower it. This is where perhaps the LED type lamp, which I don't know anything about, but people do use them, and LED lamps, as far as I know, give out very little heat, so you're probably better off using one of those. But if you're using the 5 volts, that should be okay. Either the bulbs are the MES type, miniature Edison screw, or miniature bayonet. They did in fact change them. So whenever you get one of these phones, possibilities are it's either one type of lamp or the other. Anyhow, showing some of the other ones, I'm picking up and hoping I'm picking the right ones up. So excuse me if I get a bit funny on these. Yeah, I've got the right one here. This is an example of one of these phones that was made not for the Americas. Look at the dial. That finger stop is quite familiar with a lot of phones sold in Italy, I believe. And looking at the name, Fassi Standard, which is a branch of ITT. Fassi Standard made quite a few phones, I think, for Spain, Italy, and it shows their trademark there, the normal trademark that you would see. I think SIP, it says property of SIP, so presumably SIP is the operating company of that particular country. I think they were from Italy, but once again I stand corrected. Got another one here. I'm just amazed how many of these I've got. This one's got no lamp in it, and also no name. I don't know who this was made by. The dial looks like it's possibly an automatic electric dial. If you look at it, the finger stop is at a distance from the 0. So it's probably an automatic. Without taking it out, which I'm not going to see exactly what type of dial it is, but it looks like it could be an automatic electric dial. There's automatic, done another type of bedside phone, which I'll show at another time. Now, I'm finding it hard to say more things. Let's have another one here. These have all got to be restacked in a new area. 61, this one is 701B. Northern Electric. So that's from Canada. Also, the network, if you like, I think the majority of these had what you would know as a network, which is like a sealed little box which contains the induction coil, capacitors, resistors, and it's like in a sealed little box. But the one I brought back from Canada, where it is here I honestly don't know. It was many years ago, but I've still got it. Oh, that's another ITT Kellogg with a lamp. Let me think. It's not that one, is it? No, that's a genuine princess. Got me wondering now where it is. That's the Kellogg I just picked up. It's obviously not that one. So it looks likely. I've got another one of these phones somewhere about. I've definitely got one. I'm pretty sure I saw it today. So although I said I've got 11, it's possible I've got 12. No, it's definitely not there. I think it's there now. There's one ITT with a light. No, not that one. No, that's the Kellogg again. I'm going to have to look upstairs. I'm not going now, because obviously there's no point. But suffice to say, I've got one that I brought back from Canada, and it doesn't have a network. It's a printed circuit board, and the components are wired on the board. So they are slightly different. So that is more or less it. I understand these phones are quite rare. We'll see all these. They don't appear to be rare, but as I say, I've been collecting a long time. And when you consider this one here, well, not that one I got when I visited America. That was several years ago. But when I picked my Northern Telecom one up, it was in the 1960s, I think. It was just that I, at that time, came into a little bit of money through a immense fortune because I lost my father, and there was some money that was floating about, and I decided to have a little trip to Canada, which I'm glad I did because I am in fact half Canadian, but I wasn't on that side of Canada. That is at Vancouver, but where I was Thunder Bay, which is Ontario, which is fairly close to Toronto. Anyhow, I'm going to shut up now because I think everyone might have gone to sleep. I'll have a look at see what I've done with that phone. I've definitely missed it. So it looks like I've possibly got 12. I didn't even think I had more than about a couple. So it just shows you how things creep up on you. And this hasn't really started on my Starlights because I've got some Starlight phones as well. They're slightly different shape. They're more square. But yeah, I've got Starlights, and they were made by Automatic Electric, and also was made on the continent. I think also by FASI standard, which is probably a connection between that and ITT. It obviously is. So anyhow, I'm going to shut up now. I'm going to treat myself to a nice cup of tea and upload this. Once again, Sunday evenings, 6:30, tune in to, or get up on YouTube, Andy's Shed. It's always interesting, and you can hold conversations using you text them, the information or what you say comes up on the side. So it is quite good. Unfortunately, he's taken a break for a few weeks now, so I think he comes back on the 6th of August. So come along and visit. They are very, very good. And believe me, Andy does know quite a lot about these phones, which is good. So it is good, and I've learnt a lot. So it's good. Anyhow, I think I'm going to shut up now and say any comments please make, and I'll try and get back to you. In the meantime, I'll have a look for my Northern Telecom phone, which I've seen today, so I've obviously stood it down somewhere and mislaid it. So imagine one little extra space along here would be the Northern Telecom phone, which I personally picked up in Toronto, not in Toronto, Thunder Bay. It used to be Port Arthur, Williams. I get so confused with names. Fort William, Port Arthur. That's what the place used to be called. And it was changed to Thunder Bay. And anyhow, that's where I picked the phone up from. It was about that time that they had brought out another phone, which I've got a couple of upstairs, more of a compact job. I can't think of the names. You must excuse me. My memory on certain things goes blank at times. So not to worry. Anyhow, I'm going to shut up. So, please enjoy. Any comments, please make. These phones are occasionally available on eBay. Not particularly cheap. A lot of it is the actual cost of postage, which is a terrible price. But if you're lucky enough to get one that's actually over here, where you don't have to buy it from abroad, grab it. They do occasionally turn up, but they are fairly rare. So I'm going to shut up now. Thanks for watching. Thank you.